Pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And public hearing is gonna be on ordinance number 892, off-road vehicles. I'm going to turn it over to the chief of police. There will be no decisions made in this from the council. This is just to let everybody know what's going on, for you guys to have input.
All right, thank you. Where would you like me to start? Just give a brief overview, or you want me to read through everything?
Yeah, kind of go through an overview of it.
Okay. General overview of this ordinance will be creating, the first part is we're gonna create all the town streets and roadways as ORV trail within the town of Saratoga, which then grants us the opportunity to allow operation of ORVs within town with just the affixing of an ORV sticker. And this ordinance draws out the rules that'll be required to be able to operate under that sticker, such as you'll have to have a driver's license, insurance. The vehicle will have to meet all the requirements that are set out in state statute to be able to be licensed as an MPV. You'll have to meet all those same regulations, but you'll be able to operate just with an ORV sticker.
Okay. That'll cover. What about the four-wheelers?
It'll cover four-wheelers if they meet all the regulations that are required to have the MPV plates.
Does that include blinkers then?
Nope, cars don't have to have blinkers either.
Okay,
You just have to be able to use hand signals.
signals.
So basically, you're talking headlights, taillights, brake lights, and horn
Horn and mirrors.
and mirrors. Okay,
And there's also regulations on has to have a muffler.
right.
And it only has to have a rear view mirror, correct?
I don't know if it actually has to be the rear view mirror, it just has one mirror to where you can see to the rear. So usually it's either a driver's side mirror or a rear view mirror.
Okay,
Because you actually don't have to have the rear view, because like on trucks, you can't see out of the rear view a lot of times, so you have to have one outside mirror.
yeah.
As long as you have a mirror that shows to the rear.
This ordinance is also, I read in there, is this the part where we have quiet time?
Yes, there is quiet hours. If you're operating under an ORV sticker, not an MPV plate, there's no operation between 10 PM and 6 AM. And this has no changes to those that have MPV plates are gonna maintain MPV plates.
So you can't regulate that part
No,
if they have plates.
correct. This only affects if you're operating under the ORV sticker.
Okay.
Because if you're operating under the MPV plate, everything other than the quiet hours already applies.
Now, the side-by-sides, you don't have to wear helmets. If
Correct.
you're under 18.
Correct. There is no helmet law on the side by sides because the way they're set up, they're more like a car with seatbelts.
Okay. But the four-wheelers, you do have to have a helmet if you're under 18.
Correct. Four-wheelers, three-wheelers, or motorcycles, you'd have to have a helmet.
If you do have license on it, do you still have to have the ORV sticker or no?
No,
No? Okay, that's what I thought.
no. If you have a plate, you don't have to have an ORV sticker.
Okay,
But the other requirements are there, insurance.
Correct.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a part of having it as a registered vehicle.
Council got any more questions? Okay, I'll open it up to the public. Are there any questions or comments from the public?
Say the age requirement for operating.
You have to have a driver's license, so you'd have to be 16. Yes. Yes.
It doesn't have to do with the ORV stuff, but. The big trailers coming in with 4 or 5 of them. Parking on Main Street and Bridge Street sideways. So they build in like 4 or 5 different parking spots. That's in front of businesses, even late in the evening, when like businesses are closed. But they still go to the Woodford stop and they use Main Street. Just bring their big old 5th wheel trailers and cars.
So they're parking parallel to the curb, is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
the stripes are all for single
Right, they're diagonal stripes, but they're parking parallel.
But yeah, and there you can go across some of the ADA or
Where else you gonna park if you got a trailer? In the parallel parking?
I'm just
Yeah.
saying, especially.
Your options, when you're pulling a trailer, your options are vague.
Main, they got the highway,
Yeah, they can park parallel out on the highway.
walk and walk.
But you're talking they're parking in parallel sideways.
I think he's saying like on Bridge Street. Is that what you're saying?
Bridge Street,
Oh, yeah.
post office,
Yeah.
stuff like that where I see them, you know, and I know it's that kind of stuff. I always thought stripes were, parking stripes were meant. Certain parking,
And that would fall under a different
okay,
section because we really don't have any regulations that regulate parking other than in handicap spots.
you said parking. Be an option.
It is. We send several trailers over to that area to park when the town lot's big, is full here in the trailer parking.
You see, obviously, there's been a compelling reason to bring this ordinance forward, right? There's folks that want to do this, I assume.
Correct.
In your opinion, as you looked at this, and I realize there's some consideration, but just from a standpoint, do you have an idea of pros and cons about it? This is why it makes sense, this is what our concerns might be.
I think it might help keep some of the tourist dollars in town from people coming, renting side by sides or bringing them to town. They don't have to trailer them to go everywhere. It's what some of the same things I ran into in Moab. Rather than have to load my side by side up onto a trailer to go to the trailheads, I can just ride from the RV park, hotel, whatever else we're staying. And when I travel, I use a 45-foot fifth wheel toy hauler. So that's not very convenient to load it up to take that to a trailhead to go out. And it'd be something that help with that sort of situation.
Is there any safety watch outs that you're somewhat concerned about?
Just follow the posted speed limits regulations. Otherwise, I've had mine 6 years now, and as long as you operate it with common sense like a motor vehicle, you're good.
Yeah, the concern always is the younger driver, right, the younger operator. And that's, if having raised 6 kids, I get it.
Yeah, and we run into them, of course, with any motor vehicle.
Of course.
Abe,
Soon you're gonna enforce this when we snow plow. That's the only time I'm on the public street is when I plow.
Right. Yeah, you're supposed to have an ORV sticker if you're gonna be. Right now, legally, you shouldn't be out really plowing at all without having an MPV plate on it. So,
more questions? You guys have any questions?
Where it just stands for.
Just on a positive note, there is that trail ride coming through the inaugural, the 2nd of July. That will bring 50 buggies to town
Mm-hmm,
for the night,
mm-hmm.
and that's gonna be an open trail forever after this. So that puts Saratoga on the map on that trail.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's money in the town's pocket business.
It is.
Yeah.
Have they got that trail designated? The last time I looked, it wasn't fully designated.
Well, my wife and I are taking that trip. And I got the map day before yesterday.
Oh, did you? Okay.
this is that one that's gonna go all the way from basically state line to state line.
Evanston to Cheyenne.
Yeah. I know the undersheriff and his wife are doing that ride also. And one thing I should note with this is this does not cover First Street, as that is state highway. We cannot designate that ORV trail. That it can be crossed at 90-degree angles, but the ORV stick holder will not allow you to travel on First.
Any additional questions? Council?
One question.
Yes.
And I think that's a great point that you brought up, because if the street is gonna have an issue. Semis, all that stuff going down. Well, you have some signage that makes that clear to these operators that they can't, so. They don't know, not don't know.
Right. No, we will have, we are making I've got it thought out and just haven't completely created it yet, but a primary route map or a preferred route map more is what it is. It'll help, it'll have that listed out on there. Yeah, hopefully we'll have access to it through the town website, and then we'll have, of course, printed out copies that we'll hopefully have out at Shively's and Country Store and any places where they can pick up ORV stickers.
And if you're licensed, you can go down it with an
With an MPV plate, yes.
legally.
Yeah, your place.
Work with out of state. If you have vehicle like you saying comes in and they don't have the Wyoming, but they have.
You're still allowed to purchase them locally, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but at Shively North and at Shively Hardware. You can purchase them online and pick them up at the Country Store, but I think they have to be mailed to the Country Store to do that. So there's still 2 in-person sites in town where you can pick up the stickers.
Cause I know in Montana, you almost get shot at.
Yeah, well, and like in Utah, I had to order mine online a couple weeks before I went because they don't have any place in person to get them there, so I ordered mine online.
They have Colorado plates there.
If you have any other legal license plate on the vehicle, you're good.
Additional questions? Just that this ordinance is on the website, correct? Town website. If need be, you can pick up a copy. If the town will go along with it, normally we charge 10 cents. We'd prefer you read it online, 10 cents per page, but we do have copies in the town hall if somebody wants to read it. So,
And it's what, 6 pages, 7 pages long?
yeah. Okay. And no more questions. I have a motion to end this.
Next public hearing.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do I have a motion to go ahead and end this public hearing regarding ordinance number 892 off-road vehicles?
I'll make a motion to end this public hearing for ordinance 92.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. I want to thank everybody for their input. Question?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. Second public hearing is gonna be the variance procedure update. And this is variance ordinance number 899. Emery, you would like to explain everything and open it up?
So after we went through our ordinance changes that we did last year, allowing accessory uses and stuff, open up a little bit more and give some setback relief on properties that are older prior to zoning. That whole event with the variances and that ordinance, we wanted to take the time to look back through the variance ordinance and just add language to it. We didn't necessarily change the criteria. We just added so you can better understand what to expect if you have applied for one, and when the commission's reviewing them, what they are expected to review them against. So there was a lot of discussion and discrepancy and misunderstanding when we did the first couple, and so we spent a lot of time trying to flesh this out in a way that it doesn't put everything in a box, but you can understand it a little bit better.
Before, it was very difficult to understand. It really was. So, does anybody have any questions on the variance ordinance change? That copy of this ordinance is also in the town hall, it's also on the website. Questions? I have a motion to end this public hearing on the variance ordinance procedure update.
I'd make a motion to amend the variance update.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Filibuster.
Okay,
Thanks for doing that, Emery.
thank you. Okay, we'll move on to the regular council meetings. Call the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Kirk Davis,
Here.
Councilman Mike Cooley,
Here.
Here.
Councilman Bill Barker,
Here.
Councilman Jerry Flynn.
Here.
Okay, has everybody had a chance to look at the agenda? I have a motion to accept the agenda as read.
I'd make,
Go
go ahead.
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as read.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We'll move on to minutes from the April first meeting. Are there any corrections or additions that need to be added to the April first meeting? I have a motion to go ahead and approve the minutes from the April first meeting.
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes from the April 1st meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move on to approval of the bills. We have deposits in the amount of $292,695.03. Accounts payable in the amount of $134,008.59. Transmittals in the amount of $13,402.99. Payroll in the amount of $46,095.75. Questions? Do I have a motion to go ahead and approve the bills as read?
I'll make a motion to approve the bills as read.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We'll move on to correspondence.
Day proclamation from the American Auxiliary. Basically, asking you to proclaim May 31st as Poppy Day and ask that all citizens pay tribute to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom by wearing the memorial poppy on this day.
Okay, I'll designate it's May 1st.
May 31st.
May 31st as Poppy Day. If the council so, I would call for a vote on this.
I'd make a motion to recognize May 31st as Poppy Day.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
They're going to name it National Service Recognition Day. They are asking that April 21st to recognize AmeriCorps shares a priority with local leaders nationwide to engage citizens, improve lives, and strengthen communities, and is joining with the National League of Cities, the National Association of Counties, Cities of Service, and local leagues across the country for National Service Recognition Day on April 21st, 2026.
Okay. I will go ahead and make a proclaim that April 21st is National Service Recognition. If the council would vote on it. You have a motion?
I'd make the motion to proclaim April 21st as National Service Recognition Day.
You have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, would you please post those?
Sir,
Thank you. Are there any items from the public? Council comments? Okay, we'll move on to reports from department. We'll start with the town hall.
so beginning of last summer, we passed policy for the rotating Friday shift for town hall. That was good through September 25. So this policy is just continuing that and making it more permanent
From this date forward,
from this day forward.
is there any discussion on this?
April 1st forward. April
April
1st forward.
Oh, is that what it says?
Yeah.
Okay. Discussion? Is it working out?
I think so. Yeah, have any complaints and
Well, the chair would entertain a motion to continue with the town hall staffing rotation policy. Beginning April 1st. We'll backdate it beginning April 1st, 2026. Until April 21st, 2027.
I'd make a motion to continue with the staffing rotation policy from April 1st till what?
April 1st.
April 1st. Okay.
Okay. Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
so in the policy itself for the duration, it says this policy shall remain in effect on a permanent basis. Amended will be filled by the town of Saratoga. This policy may be reviewed periodically to ensure continued effectiveness and alignment with operational need. You don't need to change that.
Yeah. We'll run it by the year. We'll have to,
Deep pressure on you too.
especially since we just voted on.
Okay, I was just clarifying.
Thank you.
And then I have, the WAM 2026 summer convention will be in Laramie, June 3rd through the 5th. We need to elect a voting delegate and a alternate.
We need a nomination. Do we need to vote on that last deal first? Because you had a motion and a second, but I don't think you actually had a vote.
Did we not?
No.
Okay, well, let's back up. To the town hall staffing. And we did have a motion and a second. I thought I called for all in favor,
Aye.
opposed? Okay. So we'll move on to the WAM or summer convention. Normally I can be the voting delegate, but I am not gonna be there this year. Normally why I'm the voting delegate, because I got elected to the board by a couple of guys I know. And, but I can't be there this year. Mike going in my spot. And it's open to any of you other guys that wanna go.
I won't be able to go either, so
Either.
we need to nominate Mike to be the voting delegate.
So move, go ahead.
When is it?
June 3rd through the 5th.
We have a motion.
I would make the motion to make Mike the voting delegate for WAM conference.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Saddle's on the horse. I guess I might as well climb aboard.
Okay, we will not have an alternate. Okay. Any additional questions? Okay, anything else, Jen? Okay, we'll move on to the police department. The first thing we have is ordinance number 890.
92.
Yeah, but that doesn't jive with what we did.
Yeah,
I wrote 892 on it when we did the public hearing.
yes, ordinance 892.
Mhm.
You're good.
All
We're
right,
looking at the,
you want to read this ordinance by title?
Me?
Yep.
Sure. Town of Saratoga ordinance number 2026-892, an ordinance creating chapter 10.29 off-road vehicles in the Saratoga Municipal Code, allowing the operation of off-road vehicles within the town limits of Saratoga, Wyoming.
Are there any questions? Do I have a motion to pass ordinance number 892 on its first reading?
I would make a motion to pass ordinance 892 on its first reading.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move on to K-9 training.
All right. The National Police K-9 Association will be holding certifications in Jackson, May 5th through the 8th. I'd like to send Officer Lear and K-9 Argus up to that certification course to get them a second certification. This is something that's becoming pretty standard practice. You get your original certification from your original certifying agency, and then you go out and get a second certification a year or so later from a separate entity, just to help reinforce the knowledge and the integrity of the animal and the handler. So looking for this course, the course fee itself is $330. The room in Jackson, we got a discounted rate of $139 a night. So total costs are going to be 900 and some change before food. And so I'm just looking for permission to send Officer Lear and K-9 Argus up for the 4 days for the certification.
Questions?
In your budget?
Absolutely. Yeah, we have lots of money in the K-9 budget that'll cover it.
The dog is performing. We're getting some payback with it.
We are, yes.
Okay, good.
Sure, I want to entertain a motion to go ahead and allow this K-9 training May 5th through the 8th in Jackson.
For the amount of what?
Going to be, yeah, about $1,000. It's just under 1,000 before whatever the food comes into from them being gone. The room and training is 900 and some change.
I'd make a motion to approve this K-9 training in Jackson, May 5th through the 8th for roughly $1,000.
Will I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
All right, thank you. The only other thing I have really mentioned tonight is back when I first became acting chief, we had voted to help the Head Start schools in Rollins and throughout the county pay for TAC 1 to come do some school active shooter training. And in trade for that, we were supposed to get our own active shooter school training, which is actually finally happening this weekend. So we'll have training going on Saturday and Sunday here in town with TAC 1. There's going to be several other agencies coming, so there may be an increased police presence in town this weekend.
Yeah, that's good.
Never hurts anything, does it?
Oh, we're gonna have several highway patrol, Rollins Police Department, and hopefully some sheriff's office guys down here also.
Cool.
And Sinclair PD, Jeff's coming down.
Good. I think it's excellent. How's everything else going?
Everything else going good?
Radio's all up and running pretty good.
Yeah, they had to come down and replace the Wi-Fi antenna in Lieutenant Morris's vehicle. The one that Comtech had installed wasn't working properly. They put in a new one and it's working great.
Good.
Where are we at on the big antenna?
Well, the mayor and I actually made a call today and I spent this afternoon, it's been about the last 4 hours. I have to do a site survey and fill out a historical site thing for the feds to be able to approve to use my SHSP money to help pay for it. Because anything over 45 years counts as a historical site. So I had to do pictures and show that it's not going to affect wildlife or change how beautiful our building is.
What they told us is
Only in America.
Yeah.
hopefully in the next week or so, they'll have somebody down here to do soil samples. And waiting on those and forward. Sounds like the parks are all, and we had such a good winter, but anyway, that's where we're at on that.
Cool.
And the call was mainly to put a little pressure on them because this grant is very important. So. Any other questions? Oh, and by the way, they do have, to go along with that, they do have, the right antennas to work at the water tower. And so they'll be down here hopefully within a week or so putting those up.
Been a long road.
Yeah, what's that?
Been a long road for that antenna.
Initially, it sounded like it was going to be much quicker.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Okay, we'll move on to the Recreation Department.
Up along will be giving that.
She is not on work comp, by the way.
Out of work. Well, just a quick update. I don't have anything for you tonight. Little kid basketball is almost over. Last week or next week's the last week. We got our pool cover on, which is working very well. The temperature's been staying from like 67 to 71, so it's really good.
Heat.
With no heat.
We heated it up with replumbing some stuff and we shut the heat off and we lost like 5.5 degrees.
That's pretty
Thursday
awesome.
to Monday,
Is that what the cover on?
yeah.
Really?
So is it gonna gain heat in the summertime when you have the heat on?
Got to.
That is-
We went up 4.5 degrees overnight. We had the heat on, so I think we'll be able to go down to 2-inch pump. So we'll keep the demand off.
Cool.
Feeling good about it.
That is great.
Yeah, that is.
So how is Pee Wee basketball going, in your opinion?
I think it's going great. We've had not any complaints, not to me, so.
Good.
That's good.
That is.
Seems
So what's after Pee Wee basketball?
softball, I believe, besides the pool opening.
Okay.
Yeah, swim lesson registration is gonna be open April 17th, which we've already had so many people coming up to us for that.
Did you get any responses on the soccer stuff?
No, not on soccer yet. But potentially soccer coming next, but we're gonna try. Okay, yep. Any questions? Any more questions?
Thank you for what you do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just for the record, something that you're probably all aware of. Main backstop on the American Legion baseball field is now up, functioning. The second one is going up this week, so it's a great improvement and draws that project pretty close to finish.
Thank you.
And it's been 5 years in doing so.
Thank you.
Yeah, looks nice.
They do look good. I've been down there. So, yep. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, anything else? Okay, the fire department, I got no report from tonight. Carter was not at the fire department business meeting. He is at the chamber. They're having their annual business appreciation, I guess is what you would call it. Plus they're nominating or voting on a business of the year for Saratoga. Okay, we'll move on to Department of Public Works, Mr. Benner.
You throw that around and
Here we go again. Starting off with the first item I have for tonight. So I did mention last week that we did find a 2-inch water line up on H Street that we did not know was there. Rocky Mountain obviously hit it, breaking it, and it was an all-day event. get it repaired, and they did work with us on that. And then the next day they did have to go back in and reset a pipe from where they started there due to all the water getting in the hole. So we expected to see a change order for that. And also during that process, we did abandon a water line that was on that, or water service that was on that 2-inch line to a currently vacant house, but that house is, and it will probably get sold and be habited one day. So this also includes getting that trench dug for that new water line, and we'll run up there and plumb it in, and then they can just back. So that's what that whole change order encompasses. We haven't seen one for the other break that was kind of gracious to us on that one. So it's the total change order costs about 1.1% of the total project.
How much?
1.1%. Total project cost.
Are there any questions from the council? So I have a motion to go ahead and approve change order number 2 on this sewer project we're doing.
I'd make a motion to go ahead and do a change order on number 2 for that project.
Second.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Okay, and just as a reminder, that first change order we did was kind of right off the start when we moved a few of the lines into old construction lines. So that was the last change order that we did have.
Isn't that where we're at right now?
Yeah, and I was in my update, but I'll get where we're at on that project. So I guess I can just fill you guys in. All the pipes in the ground for the West Bench project. Everything's tied in, all the services are done. We're on to cleanup. And then once weather gets a little bit nicer, on the road repairs that are involved with that project. So about 7,000 feet of rehabilitation is since starting in October. So that went about as quick as we could have hoped for. And probably can't count on getting that much done through the winter here again. This is for the next item.
If we have a winner again.
So that's, this trailer is the one I have on there. I was kind of, we're gonna switch up our idea here. So right now, the gooseneck that we have is a wheel well type gooseneck that is very inconvenient for us getting stuff on and off with forks. It's not wide enough to haul much anything, you know, you get to 7 foot and you're getting capped out. And so with all the stuff that we got going on and the hauling that we've been doing, it would be a lot better to have a solid deck with ramps that was not a tilt deck, nor had the wheel wells. But as far as getting a bigger, heavier duty trailer, that's what I had on there for the first quote. For a pickup trailer, it makes sense for us to have a lower GVRW when we're gonna haul with the pickup, and then the next year's budget probably put a heavier duty trailer that goes to the dump truck, something about a 30,000 GVRW, so we can haul, you know, a couple boxes at a time, haul a, you know, bigger excavator.
I was reading on the state thing on there, and I think it's below 26 or 21, I can't.
26 combined. So if you're trucking your trailer, GVWR has to be below. So that's why you get 14,000 pounds is such a nominal numbers, because 14 plus your truck usually puts you at like 25.5.
Yeah.
So if we go with the original trailer, we're over that limit. We're going to be, the truck and the trailer combined would be like 32. So, and if we're going to be over that limit and get in Class A territory, I'd rather have a trailer that had a heavier hauling capacity than.
Yeah.
Because if we go with the 22 GVRW gooseneck, by the time you take that trailer starts getting kind of heavy, it's about 8,000 pounds. So you take that off the 22 and now you're down to 14 hauling, and you can't, that 308's bigger than that. So it makes more sense to be able to have a dump truck trailer up around 33 GVRW. So then you can haul a 22, 22,000 trailer.
Or have them get a CDL.
That's with it. That would be with it. That's what I'm saying. So if we're under 26 combined, we don't have to have the Class A. So we go with this 14,000 GVRW. Most of your 1-ton trucks right now are running about 11.5. So 14 and 11.5 keeps us under that 26,000. If we go with my bigger trailer, the original one, with the 22 GVRW on the trailer and then the 11.8 on the truck, it puts us into Class A territory. So if we're gonna go into that territory, it makes sense to go into it so we can actually get the advantage of hauling a little bit heavier load.
So you want the one that's
For 11.3, the 30-foot
Deck over.
deck over. Or one for 13,500 and then one for 11,300. I'd like to get the 11,300 one for now and then look at a heavier duty trailer for that truck.
got duals on the back?
None of your 14,000 ones, I couldn't find one with it. I think the idea is if you're hauling like you're supposed to, you're not gonna put anything heavy enough on it that's gonna require that.
30 foot's gonna be big enough?
11,300
What's your skidster weigh?
one.
Your pickup should only weigh about 9,000 pounds.
Yeah,
I know my dually weighs 90, like 9,400 or 9,200.
In the 32 footer with the heavier duty and the duals will be more ideal. We're gonna be working towards CDL stuff here in the near future anyway. It'd be a better trailer. And I mean, for the price difference, it's not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$2,000, that's.
yeah.
Which one would you prefer? The bigger one?
I'd rather have both, but
Carried away.
If we're wishing, just well wishing, yeah.
yeah.
Looking like a wife there.
The 22,000 pounds, I mean, just because it's rated for that, you're still gonna go off a live weight.
As far as the
As
CD,
far as having to have Class A.
that's not the understanding that I got.
No,
No, they
that's
go.
always my
That
understanding.
was my initial.
That was just my understanding because that's what I wanted it to be. I don't know.
That was my initial until recently. I thought if you could drive across the scale at 25, you're good, but they go off what you're,
What's your stickers say?
yeah,
What the GVW is.
yeah.
Did they put an upfit sticker on those pickups when they put the flatbeds on them? No. Cause that should have changed. The GVW should have changed on that truck when they put the flatbed on it.
And the service bed too.
And I used to have to always, when I did flatbeds, have to put an upfit sticker on them.
Yeah, I can go look again and I didn't see one on their door frame there by the tag, but maybe they did.
Well. And you're looking at possibly getting a few of these guys to CDL,
Yeah,
Class A.
but we haven't budgeted money in the training budget every year. We just haven't got the time. The one guy we were gonna have do it, William, we probably would have had him start first and then he's gone, so.
I don't know, I would say go ahead and get the 32 footer.
That's what I would say also.
And then we're
Yeah.
there, we're set,
Yep. And Emery don't like little stuff, so he's not gonna ask for a 30-footer later.
I agree, the 22. 22.5 is a lot better trailer.
I don't disagree with you at all.
Yeah,
$2,000 different.
I'm of the opinion to overbuild and under need.
But we are at the same,
And it's set up with the move on the back, I mean, it's set up,
yeah, we just need to take those next steps with the guys.
Yeah.
That's what we gotta do.
so.
Well, mostly it's gonna be used locally anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah,
You're right.
Well,
That's not, let's,
we may have to perfect example was, we went down and picked up boxes for this project over here. Because if we'd have paid shipping, it was unreal. I mean, it added 1,000 or more to everything we,
We went and got the pump and went and got the trench box and went and got, the rock box, and that saved us about $8,500.
just in shipping, so
That's a
why not
lot.
have a right trailer to go get, you know?
Yeah, and we can't haul everything, like the 10-foot boxes for the bore and stuff like that, like, then you're getting into wide load stuff, but at least having the deck over it, you can do 8 foot with. Help us just quite a bit. Do like the duals, if you lose a tire or something on the highway, you can still drive for another
Yep.
20 miles or whatever till you get to.
And you don't blow out tires all the time.
It's not near as hard on tires.
Sounds like you guys know what you want me to do.
Mhm.
I would say go with the heck.
For the price difference, definitely.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
$2,000 for twice the capacity.
And I did beat them down. They didn't give me much, but.
Did you?
I did $400.
Good for you.
So, you want to go ahead and get it now?
Yeah, they do have one up there in Casper in stock.
I have a motion to go ahead and buy this Wyoming Trailers quote 32-foot gooseneck for $13,500.
I'd make a motion to go ahead and buy the Wyoming Trailers quote, the 32-foot gooseneck for $13,500.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, and then we have a current, I guess, pool. Is Sammy still working for the pool in the rec department? Yeah. She would like to join the mosquito spraying crew and I would love to onboard her for that, so.
Sure, take a motion to go ahead and hire Samantha Anderson to assist in mosquito spraying.
I would make the motion to hire Samantha Anderson for mosquito spraying.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
They add a wage in there.
It's,
Oh, yeah, we better.
Got a question in the back.
Yes.
Congratulations on the mosquito spray. I know, I'm a.
did you lose any bees last year?
Pardon?
Lose any last year?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. August last year. Zero.
Yeah, and we're gonna try and dial that in a little bit better this year and then move to, I'd like to get to be a little more larvicide heavy and try to get away from using the adulticide as much is the plan, because I don't want to spray unnecessarily, right? And then make sure, like in your alley, we had some issues with our flagging falling down. And so I went back, myself actually drove over and made sure you guys in your alley, your flag is up on all hands. We'll keep you in mind.
I have one question too on that. But me up at the museum, I've been doing the groundkeeping. And we have been trying to plant wildflowers. Native to America or native to Wyoming and that, and I on the parking lot. We're pulling the side one, but we're gonna try to do the empty field. And I noticed, like we said last year, I was out there in the evening just before sundown, and they were coming down River Street, right in front of the museum, into the museum around and right back out. Spraying mosquito, and it was like almost an hour before sunset. And I was watching bees that normally we like to have pollinated flowers that we get from the community people, the garden people, but I agree that that's what we're doing, and I know we have to have the mosquito and the bee, but Yeah, it doesn't help with pollination of these wildflowers.
Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't. I mean, it does kill bees.
Also, I'm out late recycling on the golf course in the evening. And me and the spray guy kind of looped around one another right out there on the golf course with the sun still up. So if this is what they need. Yet on the other side, I understand how you spray in the dark, so. Or the dim of after sunset.
Well, and sunset's not necessarily dark. Sunset's
Yeah, you're right.
got quite a bit of light, but it's still at sunset. So it's not like you kick it 2 hours ahead. It might be another, maybe it's 45 minutes or whatever.
Thank you for your input.
Yeah. Always good.
Can you amend that, your motion to hire Samantha Anderson at $21 an hour to spray mosquitoes?
I would amend my motion to hire Samantha Anderson to spray mosquitoes at $21 an hour.
Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll
What
second
kind
it.
of hours do you put on them? Or what does it take for them to do that loop?
So usually we have 2 people on the nights that we spray Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, and it usually takes them about 2 hours a piece. We split town up into 2 corridors and one person takes one side and the other person takes the other side.
So a couple of hours? Thank you.
So you're at 10:30, 11 o'clock by the time they're done. Wait till dark.
Yeah. Any more discussion? All in favor of hiring Samantha at $21 an hour, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, anything else, Embry?
Yeah, we did get our notice to proceed from YDOT for our pathway project. After we sent in all the engineering contract that was signed that we approved last time and everything, so we are good to finish up the design on that and get a bid package together and carry on about our merry way, that project. So we'll move on that as fast as we can, and if we can get something out this summer, we will. If not, we'll probably wait till October and then kick her off first thing in the spring. That project.
I like,
Emery, while you're up here, I did have a gentleman come into the shop this morning that said he'd been over at park and the beavers are eating the trees. He expressed some concern about
Okay.
losing some of our mature trees over at the park.
Yeah, we do
forget.
No, at
Veterans Island.
Island.
There's quite a few up at the end too. I think they kind of got a little bit of a infestation of them also. We got one behind the shop that has 8. They're active for sure. So I'll run over there and take a look at it.
Yeah, I just figured I'd bring it up while I was thinking about it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
I think there are a couple of people in town that may trap. I don't know what they charge for.
You can wrap
Or
them
the
with chicken
state.
wire too.
Huh?
You can wrap them with chicken wire too, helps.
Yeah,
Would the state trapper do anything with that? He's in and out of town all the time.
I don't know, I could call him. I noticed they had quite the pond going up there this last fall
Oh.
too.
that'll probably be worse this year too with no water, so.
Yeah,
Or we could have our police department with new suppressed weapons terminating little contracts.
If we see a red spot out there, we have to duck.
Yeah, pretty much.
and then I would say on the river crossing project, so we'll probably have all the design and everything wrapped up and be looking at bidding probably here in the next 45 days. Probably the plan, start that in November. So when water goes down, our permit window opens up.
Good.
So working on that.
Good.
Elm Street's going good, moving right along down the road. We did start with the weather being good. We have got the tractor out mowing and everything, getting the lake cleaned up and whatnot and we'll start working our way through town and the mower going and get some guys out weed eating and stuff. But it's like spring is here.
Good. Good job, Emery.
Yes, excellent.
Any more questions for Emery on Department of Public Works? Okay, thank you, sir.
You bet.
Want to move on to Planning Commission?
Yes, so this just circles back to our public hearing, this ordinance 889. It is amending chapter 18.72, the variance procedure. like I just reiterated earlier, it's just spelling everything out more clearly. There's really, wouldn't say there's really nothing new that's added to it, but just to help us all work together through it a little bit easier if we get another one.
And what's it for?
Just to, like all the, everyone's, what does this mean? What does that mean? And we took that variance chapter and just expanded it with more language to make sure that when we're evaluating a variance application, everybody understands what the criteria are.
Just cleaned up the verbiage.
And it needed it. It was very difficult to understand.
Oh,
Well, if you want to proceed and read it by title, we'll go ahead and see if we can get it passed on the first reading. You need a copy?
You got it. Would you mind it? Thank you.
Outskirts of the ordinance. An ordinance amending Title 18, Chapter 18.72. The Saratoga Municipal Code to establish clear variance standards, application procedures, and criteria for approval. Provide guidance to applicants and the planning commission, provide an effective date.
You have a motion to go ahead and approve ordinance number 889. Variance standards on its first reading.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 889, variance procedure on its first reading.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Any additional discussion?
I'd like to see the changes a little more before what exactly are the changes in it?
We can just print out the old one and you can read it against it.
Does it have anything to do with changing the on the variance for the grandfathering and all that?
No, for the non-conforming use stuff.
None of that.
No.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
Actually, illicitly, guys gives an example in there, say your house burned down and because of a fire or whatever, like that is illicit. That's what hardship would be, and you should be back in the same footprint that it was.
Yeah. But
And
there,
we will get you a copy of the old.
yeah, just making sure there's nothing in there about the car wash with the variance on it, or it's non-conform.
Has nothing to do with that.
Okay.
Have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, ordinance 889 passed on its first reading. You got plenty of time to read it too,
Okay.
so.
Now number 18, if we circle back to the last meeting, the county had delivered to us an application from somebody who was wanting to do a zone change right outside of town on the north end, kind of by the county shop, in order to build a residence out there. So you guys asked the planning commission to review that, and they did last night, and they're providing the comments to you that they would suggest that zone change application isn't necessarily in conflict with our future land use map, which would kind of be what would determine that area, say if it ever were to be annexed in. But they would discourage, any development that, or more development that would require septics and wells in an area that hadn't been annexed yet, just because that kind of discourages people from, wanting to run utilities to areas that that are identified for maybe more denser residential development. If you guys don't have any issues with those comments, that's what I'm going to send over to the planning admin over at the county.
It's zone agriculture.
It's RAM right now.
Oh, okay.
And so what they kind of weighed on, which was, I would say the correct way to do it was they looked at our future land use map that has what we anticipate that area to be used for. And that's what they kind of weighed their decision against. But there is, anytime you start adding more septics and wells right outside your town boundary, it constrains it.
I have to agree with that. Council in favor of sending over the comments from the planning commission to the county?
Isn't that right across the road from what we just voted to make heavy industrial?
It's quite a ways down the road.
Right across from that, where you, Bodney owns that too.
Yeah.
This comes across the road rarely too, doesn't it?
No, that's a mapping error from the GIS. It's.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's all west.
all right. A triangle shape.
This one here.
No, this one here.
Oh, this one there.
So if you look on page 55, it's the kind of yellow outline triangle. And that easterly line should be the border of the county road. It just shifted over because of the inaccuracy of the overviewed parcel layer.
Yeah.
So they're just wanting to do this one section into RD and the other that they own that's already RAM, they're gonna leave RAM.
Hmm.
It'll be dual zone property. They're gonna subdivide it then?
No, I think it is currently another chunk.
Is it the same owner?
No, I think this is
Two different owners.
yeah.
The Ram is owned by somebody else,
Okay.
and the triangle was just purchased from somebody. So
I think it's a relative. I think it's their mom or something that's moving out there.
it's all in the application. I read through it. Any more discussion on this?
So they don't own this other big piece here then?
Counties would be here. This would be
Youngbergs.
no, Youngberg would be down here. Most of theirs is in the limit.
Triple D,
The guy that used to own it.
Triple D.
No. He had the Riviera Hotel for a while.
Leah owns all that.
Huh?
Leah bought all that.
Lee-
Lee Oaks. On permit bought all that. All the field there and everything.
Yeah,
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
who did?
Leah Oaks. But and she's Leah, is it Leah Oaks still or?
But they didn't buy this portion here, that triangle.
That's her mom.
That was owned by somebody else. So Leo still owns this, but this triangle has.
Leah,
Huh?
a girl, Leah.
Oh, okay.
Which I think that's Mary's daughter, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so her mom's getting that one,
She used to own that.
wants to build a house on it.
He did.
Yeah.
And she bought it off him.
Okay,
Yeah,
but the triangle is,
I can remember when they bought it.
yeah. So. Up to the council, what do you? Want to go ahead and go with what
And that's in the county?
Huh?
That's in the county?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, just within a mile of town and so.
So we get these all the time. We got one to comment on, clear out almost to the elk refuge.
Yeah, for the that one tower or whatever.
Yeah.
Most of them are pretty anemic, like we'll get one from Old Baldy, somebody's moving a lot line like 5 feet. They gotta send it, but there's not, I mean, nothing going on that.
Yeah, that's happened a couple of times.
Yes.
But this is the one that we thought we'd bring to the council's attention since it is close.
And it is it is zone changing. But we can add to it, we can redact from it.
But if it's in the county, it's not up to us.
No, but-
It means the zone, is it?
No, but we have an agreement where our opinion will probably be taken fairly heavily if we were
Within
a mile.
per area.
Correct, yes. But we didn't have a map or any kind of documentation that showed that, hey, this is not planned for any residential use. Like we didn't have our future land use map showing an industrial corridor all the way out towards the lake. It actually ends at the town limits and then goes into residential on the future land use map. So that's what they kind of weighed their decision on.
Well, and where the city limits end, it's heavy industry and so, and And according to what Rodney's got stacked on his property in the county, it's still heavy industry.
And then on the other side, it's highway business. On Shively's side of it.
Yeah, on the highway.
On the highway, yeah,
And
but it's Ram up to it.
then the counties goes all the way up to the road too,
Mhm.
county buildings.
The counties is still zoned Ram.
Except for their commercial, the Chivas building and the feed store and stuff, there's some kind of commercial zoning.
So you need a motion to send this to the county.
Yeah.
And that would be just the planning and zonings
Yeah, this is their
findings.
Yeah, this is their findings, yeah.
So what are they wanting to change it to?
Already 2
5.7,
yeah.
0.5.
Yeah.
And the reason is you can't build a house on Ram unless you already have, it's existing with an agricultural operation. So it's gotta be like a ranch or something like that.
Hmm.
So if you want to just do new construction, you need to be in there, you need to be residentially zoned.
Say there's 2.57 acres and the proposed zone district is already 2.57.
We went through it pretty thoroughly. I mean, we had the county zoning ordinance out last night, map, and it was, before it was a good 25 minutes or so going through everything. It was
Just, needing the motion, Chuck, or what?
Yeah, if we want to stay on and go along with what the planning commission recommends, we need a motion or a motion just not to do anything.
I'd make the motion to move ahead with what the planning commission recommended.
Motion to move ahead with what recommendation from our planning commission. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion?
The only problem I see with it's if they put a house there and then complain about the industrial being there and the highway business and that's the only issue I ever see with it, but
yeah,
And you could see that
yeah.
if they change the zoning to residential.
yeah, because you're right in the
Because, you
middle
know,
of everything.
You know, a lot of truck traffic comes into town that way.
And I could add a comment in there. It might be prudent to do that, to say, hey, we do see the potential of that development there being contradictory with
Yeah.
what may happen in Ram around it. I'll throw that in there and then,
Yeah, I don't care if their house is there as long as they don't care if it's in the middle.
Yeah.
Else,
Well, they know what they're getting into.
and it's not a guarantee it's gonna go through. I mean, there's,
Yeah,
I would say go ahead and add that comment in. Any more discussion on this motion? All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Okay.
we got one other thing to discuss. And I talked to Chuck about doing an executive session, so we'll probably do that at the end.
Yes, sir.
Well, if you guys don't have any questions, Water and Sewer Joint Powers Board, we just went over the same projects I just kind of went over. It was a pretty short meeting.
Have any concerns or anything?
No, they feel like everything's going pretty great. I mean, the way we're doing the invoicing now and handling everything, feeling good, makes it easier for them. It's easier for us.
Good.
You know, and they're making money off of their money, and everything.
Good. All right. Any other question for Emery? Okay, we'll move on to Recreation Commission.
I don't have too much new. We had a meeting last Monday. Pretty much all they discussed was the fact that we have 2 open seats for that board that I think are being advertised, correct? So anybody wants to get on the rec board, there you go. And then they just discussed they created a board, an advisement board for adult softball. which sounds like that's going pretty good too. They've done it with some other programs and it just helps take the pressure off of our employees when it comes to rules and regulations and
Yeah,
stuff
and
like
that,
that. So
Carter explained that to me.
actually
You know,
works really
they-
good. It worked really good with volleyball.
Yeah, this committee sets up the rules, how the rules are set up, and they take it back, adopted by the rec commission, and when you get out there, there's no questions. I think it's a good idea. Seems to be working well.
Next meeting will be on the 4th of May here at the council chambers at 6 p.m.
Okay, Saratoga Airport Advisory Board. I attended most of their meeting on Monday. And their discussion was, they went through their budget line item by line item. One thing that we have to do is, and they'll be notified of it, they got a grant, they're gonna do some chip sealing and crack repair and markings up there. This is it's a reimbursement grant, so we have to pay for it, and we send off for reimbursement. So that means we have to include that all into their budget, so it's gonna change their budget. I think it was 350,000. Gonna change their budget just to cover that. I mean, the money's coming back to us. Our portion to pay, or their portion to pay, will be $40,000 and some change, and then they will also have to pay $10,000 for some special work over by the hangars that YDOT does not cover. So I don't know if that's chip sealing or what. I'm gonna probably ask that their budget be upped a little bit, because they're wanting to get some sewer line put in up there. And I don't think they budgeted quite enough, and all these reviews will be sent back to them for, before we start voting on the budget. They discussed their master plan and where it was going, and Dave Worthington brought up a couple of concerns that he had up at the airport. They're gonna address them, and it's about all they had to do. Their next meeting is April 20th. Excuse me, May 11th, 2026 at 3:30 p.m. here at the town hall. One other thing we did do is in the contract, and I'll call for amendments if people are looking in the rear of their packet. The contract read that we would get 7% of the fuel once it was sold. Well, they wanted to, and they approved it and everything, they wanted to pay for it as soon as the fuel was bought. Said it took less paperwork, and it's number 6. So I took it before them, Kylie reviewed it and said it was easy to amend. And the wording was changed. Line 56. 56. 6A. A pretty minor change. 2 words. And it's in number 6, rights audit right, rent and audit rights. Bottom of paragraph number A. In addition, the leasee shall pay the leaser as part of consideration for this agreement, the sum of 0.7 cents per gallon of aviation fuel purchased by the leasee. Before it said that it had to be, he would purchase it and then dispense it, and then we'd get paid. But as he buys it, the printed receipt shows how much they paid, what we get. And so I need a motion to amend the contract that was signed by Thad Sanger and the town that go with fuel purchased. by the lessee, and that bill will be paid on within 45 days.
I'd make the motion to change paragraph 6A. Show that they will be paying the 7 cents as they purchase the fuel versus after they sell the fuel.
Okay, I have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We'll get that amendment put in there and then I can re-sign it and we'll get it back to Lad. That was the extent of the airport board meeting. I would try to answer questions if I can, if there are any. Okay, we'll move on to South Central Wyoming Emergency Medical Service. I did not hear anything from them. Their next meeting is April 20th at 6 p.m. At the Hannah Fire Station. Their minutes from their February meeting are in the packet if anybody wants to read them. Okay. I have a motion to go into executive session in accordance with Wyoming statute 16-4-405, little a, little II, and little III.
I'd make the motion to go into executive session.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do I have a motion to end the executive session at 8:02?
I'll make a motion to end the executive session at 8:02.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion to call this meeting back to order.
I'll make a motion to call this meeting back to order.
A second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any further business to be brought before this council? Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.